Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series 60th anniversary of the Avengers. This is the anniversary premium line for the year, Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest. So here is kind of a surprise one. Big Bad Toy Store, of course, coming in clutch and getting stuff in early and shipping out early, whereas we know in other countries they are holding off on these releases until August 1st or so. But Big Bad Toy Store, they're just shipping them out, whatever. Here, the next one is the SUPER-ADAPTOID. This is a fan channel exclusive, so you're not really going to find these in stores. Maybe some local comic shops, maybe GameStop. But essentially, it's just going to be kind of something that you would order online. This thing's pricey. It's like $70. I think a couple of dollars more in Big Bad Toy Store. After shipping, this sumbitch was $100, like 98 something. Because I pay for priority shipping, so it comes in a couple of days as opposed to the $4 shipping, which takes a full week or more to get to California. So I'd rather just pay a little bit more, or a lot more in some cases when you have a bigger figure, the heavier the figure, and plus their shipping just, I think they overcharge like crazy. But they get stuff early, so we get that. And here, lo and behold, it arrived on Memorial Day. Post office is closed. I don't know why, but it showed up at my front door. So that was pretty cool. So, for everyone that is serving or has served or has made the ultimate sacrifice, I thank you for your service and your courage. Happy Memorial Day. Even though by the time this video goes up, it's already after the day after. Anyway, we have the SUPER-ADAPTOID. Here, looking at the box, we get the same Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest packaging in the white. So we get a look at the figure there. We get the comic artwork on the side, looking pretty good there. We get a render of the figure again, render there on the side. This box is huge, but it is kind of thin compared to like the 12-inch figures of the past, which this SUPER-ADAPTOID figure is truly based on, because it is essentially, and forgive me because this was in a drunk tote of old figures that my kids had and didn't take care of. So he is missing an arm, but as you can see, the old 12-inch Marvel Legends line, not the original 12-inch Marvel Legends line, because there was one before, but this, I forget how many years ago now, but you could see this uses a lot of the same parts. We get some new stuff, like the head sculpt is new. Looks like the shoulders might be new. I'll have to take a closer look at that. Shoulders might be new. The forearms are new. The boots, so under the legs, so the boots are different. Even the feet are different. Head sculpt is obviously new. And then we get a Mjolnir here. It is a hollow one. I'm sure this is probably the same one that came with the 12-inch Thor figure. And then we have a Captain America shield here, and these are all in green. Of course, one thing about this is that he doesn't come with wings, and that's like the big thing everyone is complaining about. Not only that, the price is extremely high, right? These bad boys were $50 when they came out. This is now $70 retail. It's sort of in line with inflation and the cost of everything, but it still sucks. Like $70 for a potential army builder, right? Well, no, I guess you wouldn't necessarily army build. But, we don't get the wings on him, so you don't get accurate representation for a lot of the Avengers, right? You get, the Captain America, the Iron Man, the Hawkeye, with the head sculpt, the Thor, the Captain America again. The green, I don't know why it was green. I don't think it was like replicating the Hulk. For whatever reason, it was just always green. But, he's depicted as having the quiver and the bow to kind of show for Hawkeye, and then wings for like the Wasp. So it's kind of sucks that we don't get all of that with this figure. It's still pretty cool, even still, to kind of get something like this, if you're going for classic Avengers and things like that. It's an interesting choice. It's overpriced for sure, but an interesting one at that. This is really going to be the only comparison that we do, so just kind of get a good look at the Captain America here. But it looks like there were some adjustments made to the shoulders here, because this guy in Captain America, you can see some pins in the shoulder in there. We don't get those pins there. And then, of course, this shoulder pad here was kind of like keyed in. It may actually be full-on part of it. No, it's just like keyed in, I guess. Oh, because you can kind of move that around. So the shoulder piece, it has been redone, but it does have the same exact like texture and design to it, but it is technically a new piece. We'll get this wobbly ass Captain America up out of the way, and we can take a look at our SUPER-ADAPTOID, which is so big I can hardly get in frame, but I'm gonna try my best to do some stuff with the camera and everything to get it to work. with my tripod and stuff, and we'll get a closer look at the figure. Not a crazy amount of paint details, but there are a few different paint variations in the green to talk about. But let's go ahead and get in for the closer look. Okay, so here is a closer look at the SUPER-ADAPTOID. So here is the head sculpt. It is pretty soft plastic, as you can see. It's a little pliable in there. These fin portions up here, those are definitely a harder plastic, so there's no issue there. But that looks pretty good. Again, you can't really do this wrong, right? White for the eyes. This other piece looks like it's glued on, so you know you get a little bit of a darker green. But just green for the head sculpt. Not a whole lot else like that. As we kind of pan down on the figure, we'll kind of look at kind of the only Iron Man portion of this figure would be kind of the chest piece there. The unibeam or arc reactor for MCU is what it's called. But you can see like the chainmail design of the Captain America figure. It's really hard plastic on the torso. The shoulder again is new, but the arms are going to be reused, so you do have pins in there. We do get these gloves that have this fin that comes out. I'm not sure if who that's kind of supposed to represent. There is a swivel actually in there separate from the piece. So it looks like the gloves might be the same as reused from the Captain America. We just get this other glove portion that's on there. And in fact, I guess if I pop that out, can you get these gloves? They don't really come off, so maybe not. And unfortunately, we don't get any interchangeable hands, and that's a real problem for this figure. And I'll get to that here shortly when I talk about the accessories. But yeah, there for the hands. So you could see there, you do get the nice textured detail in there. You can see the zipper there. The belt, a couple of colors in the belt. You get a darker green, a little bit of a dark gray, a lighter green, and then looks like some of that light green, which would normally be silver, I guess, but this light green, since he's green in color, on some of those patches and stuff. So we do get some color variations in there. The sculpted detail of the pants are actually really nice, as you can see throughout the figure. A wash would have been nice on there. We don't get any scratch marks or anything on the knee pads like we did the Captain America figure, which really brought out the details and was a really nice touch. It's just all green in there. We do have pins in the legs. And then we do have these boots that are new, so you have the gray sole bottoms there on the boots, and you get that old kind of cuff look to it, which I think these would be Hawkeye boots, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I guess it could be Captain America or Hawkeye boots. But yeah, there is the SUPER-ADAPTOID, and here I want to talk about the biggest problem that I have with the figure. I don't have my 12-inch Captain America. I don't know where the shield is to be able to compare it to you guys. So I don't know if this was the same on the Captain America figure or not. But here is the issue. He would be able to slip this shield onto his right arm, no issue, right? So let's see. You get the larger portion, you could slip it on in and whatnot, and then you can finagle and work this handle portion, this strap piece, into his hand. I guess it's actually kind of tough because that fin on the glove doesn't allow for this arm to go in any further than that. So it only goes to about there. Or if you want to do it this way, where you get his hand to go through, you could actually get him to hold just this portion of the shield, and he can use it like that. But it's a problem because he only has the two hands, so a fist for the left and the holding hand, the grip hand, for the right. So if he's gonna grip Mjolnir, so the shield is gonna have to go on his left. But again, you can't go any further, so you can't secure that over here, and it just kind of like sits there and doesn't hold really good. Like it won't hold in a good position. It just kind of lays there. And it's, it could loose, it could kind of fall out. I did a weird thing where I kind of did this over the fin and then put his fist through there, and that kind of held better a little bit, as you could see. And that's, that's the weird way that I had to do about that. So, new hands would have been really, really nice. Not these hands, or an extra set of hands. Maybe two fists, two grip hands would have gone a long way. We already didn't get the wings, which is unfortunate. So we don't get to showcase like the Wasp in the as part of the Avengers. So that kind of sucks. The Mjolnir again is a very hard plastic. It is hollow in there. We get gray for the handle and kind of the tassel rope there, and then just green for the Mjolnir and the shield. So those are pretty cool. The Super-Adaptoid, again, it has a classic look to it. It's not perfect. It is a little bit of a fun one, though. It really is. You know, he's got so large in size. I will do a size comparison. I brought out, you know, classic Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Hawkeye. You know, because that's who is represented here. So you can see how he looks compared to those. And it's pretty cool. You know, not the greatest thing. It's definitely not worth the $70 or even the close to $99 that I paid after shipping with Big Bad Toy Store. But it does have a little bit of magic to it, and it is nice. But yeah, wait for a good clearance, and I bet you can get it eventually online and to add to your collection. But let's go ahead and check out his articulation. I got to figure out how I'm going to have the camera set up for that, because okay, so I'm going to have to do this in kind of waves and stuff. So we'll start with the upper body, and then we'll move to the lower body. The head sculpt, you can get a full swivel there. Not really pivot going on in there, but you can get the Super-Adaptoid to look all the way down. You can get the Super-Adaptoid to look all the way up, which is good. The shoulder goes straight on out, as you can see there. Full rotation. You do have an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinned elbows, so you only get... man, you know, it's a double joint, but that top joint gets hardly any range of motion in there. So if you use just that first one, as you can see, it goes from there to there is all that first bend is going to get you. So the bend, you're only going to get a little under 90 degrees. The glove swivels, and then the wrist swivels and hinges. Same with the other hand, except the other hand with the grip hand has the vertical hinge, so at least it's the right hinge for wielding Mjolnir, so that is at least a nice touch. We have the diaphragm cut on here. I'm trying to think, what can you really do with that? There's not... He doesn't even want to swivel. Look, he's just going to shoot back. Yeah, it's supposed to be a swivel in there. It's not great. He could tilt to his left that much. He could tilt to his right that much there. Going back is virtually nothing. Coming forward, there's a little bit, but not a whole lot. But we do have an inverted ab crunch in here. So using both, you can get the Super-Adaptoid to crunch forward that much in total. And then going back, you can get him to go back quite a lot. Again, the swivel is in that diaphragm, but man, turning to his right, he doesn't want to do, and he just shoots right back. To the left, it's very little as well. The legs do have some wobbliness to it, a little loose in some areas, so just kind of be aware of that. Legs go out that far apart, can't kick forward that far there. Leg goes back ever so slightly. You got an upper thigh cut in there. A double jointed pinned knee, as you can see there. Get that much range in the knee. Boot swivel. Foot hinges down all the way. Doesn't really hinge up, as you can see the top of the foot hits the shin there. Ankle pivot, and you do have peg holes on the bottom of the feet. The legs feel a little wobbly and a little loose, and that's mainly because I think it's the foot, the ankle pivot moves around a little bit, and there seems to be some wobble at the top of the boot where it meets the leg, which is unfortunate. And not that it's super wobbly and loose, but it definitely moves a little bit more than you would really want it to, so you can have, you know, a stable figure. The belt is a floating piece and it constantly wants to move around. I don't know, let me see. So there are these pegs here on the front of the figure, as you could see, and there are peg holes in the belt. So I guess it's supposed to like peg in there, and that's supposed to kind of hold it in place. It doesn't do it for shit. And look, there's pegs in the back. So those pegs do not hold the belt in place. He just wants, this belt wants to kind of move around like crazy. Okay, so for your size comparisons, again, the Super-Adaptoid is a 12-inch figure. The actual back of the box does show the measurement as actually being 11.7 inches or 29.7 centimeters. So here you can see the size comparison along with Captain America, Hawkeye, Thor, and Iron Man. So they come up just about to his waist. Hawkeye a little bit under there, same with Iron Man. Just to kind of give you guys an idea when I go down to the bottom of my desk, how much taller that Super-Adaptoid is. So the Super-Adaptoid is fun. You can kind of play with the depth perception, you know, and angles and stuff when you're trying to do some stuff. He is a lot larger than the standard 6-inch figure, you know, almost twice in size. You know, not quite big enough, or depending on the artwork, right, it can kind of vary in different sizes. There's a lot of fun to it. I don't know that there's enough fun to it, right? The bow and arrow, the quiver, would have been a nice touch. Wings would have been really damn cool, you know, if we really got it accurate. And then more hands. I think this figure is just lacking and missing a whole lot of stuff to truly live up to its potential. While I really like the idea, and it's a great way to reuse some old stuff like 12-inch figures and things like that. And, you know, it can match up with some of your 12-inch figures. So if you have Thor in that, if you have Captain America, if you have Iron Man, if you have Spider-Man, if you have Deadpool, if you have Wolverine, if you have Hulk, if you have... I think that was all of them, right? Unless I'm missing one. But, you know, a couple of Spider-Mans, a couple of Deadpools. I think that was all of them. I really like the 12-inch line. I kept them all in box. They're still all in box. I have every single one of them. But, you know, the line just... Oh, Daredevil. That was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. The line just didn't last long, unfortunately, and it's you know, maybe this could open up the potential for more of those 12-inch figures down the line. Highly doubt it. At $50, nobody wanted to pay the $50 for them. At $70, nobody's going to want to pay the $70 for this Super-Adaptoid. As of now, I believe it's still in stock at Big Bad Toy Store, so I will have a link in the video description below in case you want to order with them. Maybe you will go for the $4 shipping. I, on the other hand, did not. I will be leaving for Disney World, so I wanted to get this review in, and I was glad that it was actually able to arrive just in time before I head out to vacation. But again, decent figure, lots of potential. It's just lacking in a lot of ways. Accessories, the big part, the wings, extra hands. But for what it is, it can be fun. But again, this is one that I'm probably going to say, hey, wait till you can find a really good price on clearance, whether Big Bad Toy Store, you know, ends up selling it for cheaper, or you got eBay sellers that sell it for cheaper. Whatever the case may be. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Super-Adaptoid figure? Did you order it? Have you gotten it from Big Bad Toy Store, or is it on the way? Whoops, there goes Thor. He just kind of took a tumble. I know a lot of people were saying, hard pass, hard pass, hard pass. They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. You know, it's definitely one that they don't like or whatever. And that's cool, sure. But, you know, I like having every figure. I'm a completist at this point when it comes to Marvel Legends. It's nice when we get a variety of characters and villains. So this is, you know, one of those ones where it's like, hey, you know, we got a Super-Adaptoid figure. That's kind of cool. It's not quite, the execution isn't quite what we would hope it to be. But, you know, we do have a Super-Adaptoid figure now. So, again, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.